Hola friends, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I want to share with you guys why I decided to quit weed. So in the last video that I talked about cannabis, it's called the Cannabis Project Conclusion video. I kind of mentioned how I now like I now try to minimize all drug use, including alcohol and cigarettes and just anything that's not good for my health, right? And I mentioned how I want to minimize doing that. But I also want to make a video talking about explicitly why I want to completely quit them. So in that video, I mentioned kind of like how because we live internal, like our life, like our souls are eternal, and that like why would God make some substances like psychedelics like LSDs and acids and like like mushrooms to help people realize the power of love and stuff, right? But I've realized that everything is about a balance. Like you know how like the psychedelic treatment, how like I think it's called MDMA treatments and stuff. So essentially, people are now using psychedelics as a therapeutic tool or medicine or compound substance, whatever, to help people overcome like traumas or PTSDs and stuff. So I guess that's the use. Like that's the best use or the best relationship humans can have with mind altering substances, I would say, right? So it's just essentially to use them beneficially. Yeah. And that's also my view. And right now, I'm really happy to share that I'm able to really overcome my dependency, or not dependency, like cravings on drugs, like on alcohol and weed and sometimes cigarettes. Sometimes you just can feel it. You can feel that you've overcome that. And that's the case for me. So I want to share like everything that has helped me reach this point of I don't even want to do weed anymore. Like I don't even want to do them, even if I have the chance to like do it on my rest days or break days or like, whatever. I might not want to do it anymore. And this detachment, like this unwilling to be engaged with it anymore, comes from a few facts that I want to share with you guys in this video. So the first thing is, I've realized that I can't really sing on weed. Like it makes your throat kind of like, I think puffy or like sticky kind of. And then like you just talk with like a very nasal tone, which is not something that I like, and hence I cannot sing on weed. This is something I've realized. And if you can't do something under the influence, then that basically means when you're undertaking that activity, or if you decide to go do that thing that doesn't allow you to do another thing, then you're basically choosing that thing over the other thing, right? You're choosing to forego singing in this case in order to do weed. And that's just like a big trade-off for me, because you guys know that I do want to try to be a singer. Like maybe in the short-term future I'll be a professional singer, and if that's the case, like weed really hinders my performance as a me superstar, as me, like just as me as a person, not professional related. It's still like a little bit of a hindrance. So I was like, okay, that's like a very vital sign that I should, minimize or quit it completely. And then another thing is also like it affects your facial beauty. Like it gives you worse dark circles around your eyes. And personally, I like care about my appearance a lot, so I wouldn't want anything bad happening to my appearance, and just to make myself look a little bit like less pretty. Anything that makes me look less pretty, I would have a hard time accepting into my life. So that so we kind of gives you dark circles and make your eyes look like droopy, because like you're high when you're under the influence. So that's the another very like hardcore thing that has made me decide to not do weed anymore, or at least minimize to the T of my encounters with it, because I have to share with you guys another thing. Like I was diagnosed with some mental disorders, like bipolar and mood disorder, and so like my mind does change a lot. I don't know if this might be related to being diagnosed, but whether or not it's because of that, my mind does change a lot. So like sometimes I think having a wine, which is the type of drug in my opinion, is fine, or having like a cigarette in like a long time once in a while is fine. And then sometimes, but weed is a little bit worse than that in my opinion. So like definitely minimize weed. Probably not gonna do it again. But maybe I might want like some wine or a cigarette in the future, and I just don't want to be seen as not a credible person if I do that. I don't want people to be like, oh, didn't Christine say that she's gonna quit all drugs in her video, one of her videos, but how come she's still like doing like smoking a cigarette right now, or like how come she's drinking a glass of wine right now? I just don't want that. So like, but then I also feel like my opinion and my perspectives on why one should completely eliminate all drugs or at least minimize the usage of them, like my reasons behind them are also very powerful and convincing. So like I feel like I should share them because it's helpful. It has helped me let go of my attachment to those external guilty, not even quotation marks, just guilty pleasures, like low-key bad habits, but like brings people instant gratification, and that's why it's popular among people. So like just being able to see them as that, and realizing every time I try to seek for that, right? Like the moment before I ingest them, the moment that I go on to seek them, that moment you can see that the effect of those drugs on your life is not that good, because otherwise you wouldn't even have this cravings and like this like wanting to escape your current reality or what you're feeling right now, by doing those drugs or by undertaking those activities. But if you're like partying with friends and like, or in a family gathering, and there's alcohol present and everybody's having a great time and having fun, and you've just accomplished something big in your life, for example, and then you have no like stress and like responsibilities at the moment, and you want to just have a glass of wine to celebrate, I think that's fine, and I wouldn't say, oh, you're seeking external pleasures over like your own inner peace, like hence this is a bad spiritual practice, so you shouldn't do it. I wouldn't say things like that. I wouldn't think that way. So I think it ultimately boils down to the ultimate hardcore truth, like are you truly able to just enjoy a glass of wine or like a cigarette or like a weed, even like really truly enjoy them, or is it bring hindrance to your life? So like this is something that we should consider. And also I feel like the world has starting to realize the benefits of being all clean and being your best selves all the time. So essentially just being your true leader self, your ice one self, like just trying to be your best selves and not engage with them. Let's see, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and a few, yeah. So essentially that. So like, I guess I'm gonna try to go towards that route, like trying to be my best leader self for myself and for others if I have the honor to do so. And yeah, like just try just to be happy on my own, and like just try to stay clean and be happy like that, and just enjoy life and enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Yeah. And also like I mentioned how I have two things that I want to clarify on the last video, like already, like the last the cannabis conclusion video. And I also, okay, one thing I want to add, so like I also feel like if you haven't even figured out this drug use problem, like whether that be weed, alcohol, or cigarettes in your life, then it definitely put a hindrance on your credibility, right? If you have an online presence and you do that, and it's just people are gonna see you as less serious, and then people are going to have a less serious like filter on you. So like maybe they won't take what you say seriously, or you just probably won't have the credibility if you haven't even figured that out in your life yet. If you haven't even like overcome that obstacle as your best leader self, I guess that's how I see it. So like that's why I kind of want to like conquer it on my on myself, but I also feel like I shouldn't put that much responsibility on myself. Like if I'm struggling, I should allow help into my life. Like I'm not God, right? I'm not like a superhuman with like, I guess I'm not like omnipowerful, like all powerful, like that. So I guess maybe my mind is, right? Like everybody's mind is as powerful as like that you can perceive, I guess, like just really powerful. But but like just I can't solve all of the world's problems by myself, right? I'm not powerful like that, I guess. Or I don't know, maybe one person's influence can be as big as that. Like Martin Luther King, he has like a huge impact on the world, you know, not only by himself, but he was kind of like the main force, I guess, or like he really contributed, right, largely to the world. So like yeah, maybe a person does have that power. But essentially I want to say that in that video I mentioned how weed gave me a lot of spiritual insights and stuff, and even like good ideas and stuff, but it also takes away a lot of things. Like it really makes your mind unclear, and then it's like unclear, like you get confused on your life path, kind of unclear. Like because then you would be like, okay, last minute I had like an idea and everything, and then I had the emotional arousal in my body to feel it, to be like, okay, I feel the certainty towards this thing, that means I should probably pursue it, right? But then the next second, it's also possible to have another emotional arousal towards the complete opposite direction. And if that's the case, you'll be like, okay, I had both strong emotional arousal towards these two stimuli or potential paths ahead. Which one then should I choose? Because like I had, both experiences. Like I don't know why, but weed just gives you that. Like it kind of make you bipolar, I feel like. Like it just makes you see a little like a little bit of like both extremes maybe. But this sounds a little bit attractive to me already, so I'm just gonna stop here because I don't want to propagate drug use. Like that's the opposite of what I want to do. Yeah. So it does take away a lot of things too, like your clear mind, clear directions, and even like sometimes it makes you confused about how you want to go about your goals in life, So it's kind of scary, risky to take, and also the time that you spend under the intoxication, essentially it's just you not using your time efficiently and productively. And also like I've heard from someone else saying that weed gives you like the idea and stuff, but then it takes away the strength for you to pursue what you need, what you want, by not giving you the motivation and energy, like physical vitality, energy to pursue what you want to do, to actually engage in the task that's going to bring you to your goal, that's going to bring you there, essentially. So like that is also a very big con, right? Very big downside to weed. So yeah, like just realizing that also make me just like be like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like I'd rather stay sober, because staying sober is so underrated. I feel like staying sober is great. It's clear, it makes me clear-minded, and then I'm also very happy because if you really think about it, God would give us the best state under our sober regular state, right? It's kind of like your factory setting, because obviously you're gonna like God would want to optimize your inner settings for you. So like obviously your sober state is already the best, happiest state that you could be at any given moment, because that is your factory setting state, and that is the state that one feel great and good in. Yeah, so that's that. And the last thing I want to clarify with that video is like during the doorbell, like in the middle, the doorbell rang because like I had a family visitor, and then I had to like do that essentially, but like or like I had to like leave the house and blah, blah, blah. Like this was like a whole thing. It was like a whole thing, a family thing. yeah, anyway, so like it was interrupted. But before it was interrupted, I was gonna say that how I found the spiritual effects of cannabis, like how I even came up with like the hypothesis on how cannabis reach this effect, is through reading papers on how, like, first of all, find the link between I found the link between how CB1Rs are expressed in the brain, like the most expressed region, and then I looked up like what task that region is associated with, and try to see this and try to connect this link to my personal experience, because my personal experience, although it's only one person, it's still lived and true experience, right? So it's still a valuable input, research input in my pursuit, in the cannabis project. Yeah, and so like that's how I kind of came up with the hypotheses. Yeah, so essentially just look for signs about how the ECS, the endocannabinoid systems, are expressed in the human body, and then look for the human body's like associated functions with different parts, and then try to use that link to explain how, or try to like find reasonable explanations in that, like between those links, and try to see if we can kind of understand why cannabis like can elicit those spiritual effects, essentially. So I kind of want to explain how I went about doing that research, because I did spend some time on that. So like, and I also did learn a lot about the brain and the human body in general, like on a very foundational standpoint in general through that project. So I just want to clarify that, and just make this project a perfect conclusion with this video. Yes. So in this video, I shared how I really just in my heart kind of said goodbye to weed. The reason why I've said it, the biggest reason is because I realized I can't sing as well on weed, because when I, like my throat just gets really nasally, it's not as contracted. So like the space between my throat, like or my vocal cord, like the space in that, the chamber is not as large as like expanded. So yeah, this is something that I've realized every time with weed. So like I also like it's kind of standing in the way between me and my dreams now. Like my goals are like bye, adios, yeah, kind of vibe. Yeah. But then I also don't want other people to feel surprised when you guys see me maybe with a glass of wine or like a cigarette in the future. But I also want to minimize eliminate all drug use, because I want to be that good example for myself and good leader for myself. I want to be able to see myself as my best self, like I want to progress on this me superstar journey for myself. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, and that's all for today's video. I've shared everything, and happy that this is really the conclusion video for this project now. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Love you guys. Jimmy. Bye bye. Love you guys. Bye.